We all want to keep our senior dogs as healthy and happy as possible. We all want to do the absolute best that we can do for them. Unfortunately, we can't stop or reverse the aging process, but we can do certain things to help give our dogs the best quality of life possible and avoid a lot of unnecessary pain. And make sure that we know what they need in order to give it to them. Firstly, we have to know what's normal. What is normal aging and what requires professional intervention? A lot of people often mistake serious medical issues as normal aging. There are two categories that I've broken this down into: cognitive and physical. Some signs that there might be something cognitive going on that you want to chat to your vet about are pacing, particularly if it hasn't been a behavior your dog has done before, sudden pacing, particularly at night. There will often be vocalizing that goes along with that pacing, whining, grumbling, growling, sometimes some barking as well, or crying. Dogs going to the other side of the door, the wrong side of the door. So instead of the side of the door that opens, they will go to the hinge side of the door and wait for it to open. Dogs can start having accidents in the house. And social isolation. So instead of hanging out with the family and spending time with the family, they will start isolating themselves, leaving the room when people come into the room, finding rooms that are unoccupied to be in. Or the opposite, we will have a dog who was independent now becoming quite needy and following us everywhere and needing to be very close to us. From a physical perspective, some signs to look out for. Barking. Barking can very often indicate a loss of hearing because the dog can't hear themselves barking anymore. Again, having accidents in the house. Not doing things that they used to do. So things like jumping up on the couch, jumping up in the bed, going upstairs with you anymore, running to greet you at the door. Moving slower or limping, and growling at either other dogs or people. Pain management is very closely linked to the previous point, but I've given it a slide of its own because it is that important. Dogs don't slow down because they get old. They slow down because of pain. So slower movement, stiffer movement, or limping is a sign of pain, not just age. Other signs of pain can be sudden behavior changes, like peeing in the house, growling or barking at other dogs or people. Dogs are very, very stoic. We often don't know how much pain they're in. So it's really important, if we suspect that there's any pain, that we work closely with our vet to make sure that we have our dogs on a pain management protocol so that they aren't suffering every day in silence. Keep them active. The very worst thing you can do for their muscles is to retire them to the couch with no exercise. We have to adjust the exercise accordingly and find the appropriate exercise for the different stages that our dog is at, but every dog can do something. So make sure that they are active on a daily basis. Keeping them mentally active is as important, if not more important, than keeping them physically active. All dogs need to use their brain on a daily basis, but it's particularly important for our seniors. Use it or lose it is very true. The brain starts atrophying and shrinking if they aren't using it on a daily basis. Using their brain can also help to stave off cognitive dysfunctions like Alzheimer's and dementia. Some ideas on how to keep your dog mentally engaged: don't feed them out of a bowl. Feed them out of a puzzle toy or use their food for training. Teach them some tricks. Make sure that we are adapting the tricks to our senior dog's specific physical needs. Have them practice behaviors they already know. Take a nose work class. Nose work has been shown to be extremely beneficial for mental health. Diet. Our dog's diet impacts them physically and mentally just the way ours does. They need to be eating a diet that is species and biologically appropriate, made up of fresh, whole foods that is not processed or as minimally processed as possible, and adding supplements can be very helpful. Omega-3s, for example, are very important for brain function and heart health, which is very helpful for our senior dogs. Work with the nutritionist if you need to find the right diet for your dog. It is very common for senior dogs to lose a sight like hearing or eyesight. And while that can be quite traumatic and painful for us, they tend to take it in stride. A dog who's lost a sense doesn't need to stop doing things. Don't retire them just because they've lost a sense. We will, of course, be adjusting what we're doing to keep it safe for them. But dogs who have lost sight or hearing can still live a very active, engaged, fulfilling life. The dog in that picture is my dog Piper. She's 12 years old. She has almost no eyesight left and is starting to lose her hearing and has the beginning of CCD. We hike 3 to 5 times a week. We do off-leash run-around playtime 2 to 3 times a week. We do a lot of mental training, and she still helps me in all of my consults as well. So she still lives the exact same life she did before. Obviously, I have changed things to make sure that we're hiking in areas that is safe for her, that she's not going to wander off of a cliff. So those kind of adjustments need to be made, but they can keep doing the same things that they were doing with a little bit of tweaking to make it safe and comfortable. With all of the work we're doing to keep our dogs mentally and physically active, we need to also make sure that we're giving them enough rest, enough time to sleep. Sleep is imperative for restoration and recovery, both physically and mentally. If left alone, a lot of senior dogs will sleep the entire day away, so we have to find the balance between them getting enough sleep and too much sleep. You want to be aiming for about 18 hours a day of sleep. Help them to sleep if they need to. Put them in a crate for nap time, or get them up on the couch next to you and do some massage or some slow touching and petting to help them calm down, relax, and be able to go to sleep. Spending quality time with them is really important to keep them engaged with their world and their surroundings. Snuggle up with them on the couch, talk to them, read to them, give them a massage, or simply just enjoy the feel of their fur under your hands. Engage with them. Put your phone down. Don't ignore them. Just be with them. Appropriate play and interactions with other dogs can be very helpful for some senior dogs. This play and interaction, though, is never going to be at a dog park. Dog parks are not an appropriate place for senior dogs. With play, we want to keep in mind pain and make sure that the other dog is not being too rough and that their play sessions are short enough that they're not straining anything or having sore muscles the next day. Intervene if necessary. If you feel like the other dog is being a little too rough or maybe they need a break, step in, give them a break, and then allow them to go back to playing. Also keep in mind that it's completely okay if your senior dog doesn't want to interact with other dogs. Don't force them to. Let it be their choice. Treasure your senior dog and the time that you have with them. They are so special and deserve the very best and most that we can give them. This video touches on the basics of what they need and what we can do for them. Get in touch to learn how to meet their unique needs and make their golden years their best years.